Hi. Oh, hi, Jalen. You found me over here. Oh, how's everything? Can you hear me? I just there's some weird activity here. Like it's saying I'm not live, but I am. Can you hear me? How's everybody doing? Um, Let me know if you can hear me. I don't even want to bother talking unless everything's working. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm still live. Am I still live? I sound and look like a newbie, but I'm not, but it feels like it is because it's on a different channel. Um, I'm not getting anything from anybody inside the chat. I can hear you. I'm sneaking watching you at work. Oh, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm doing well. I want to be honest. I'm doing well because of the work I've done on myself. I don't think in this time that we are here on earth, it's not easy. There is this energy of, and I want to talk about the timelines because I've come to some conclusions. I understand a lot of people like to blame the economy and say it's about money, but I don't think so, guys. I think it's the illusion that's being lifted, and that's why everything is going haywire. I think there's a lot of people who are not happy. They could feel a lot more depressed. But I think they're blaming the economy, but I don't think it's the economy. I think it's the illusion being lifted. This illusion of the matrix is just crumbling. Don't you find it's crumbling? But I'm not saying that I don't feel it. I do feel it. I do feel like, it's something's very off. But I feel like what's my saving grace right now is the fact that I've worked on myself. I'm in a lot better of a space. So, it is good. This is why working on yourself is going to be imperative. It's going to be imperative. But yeah, there's a huge shift. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we're closer. I don't know how much you guys know about the solar flash. That's going to really be, what causes the two timelines to split permanently. But I feel like it's right around the corner as opposed to before. Like in 2022, 2023, I felt like I didn't feel nothing. I felt like, okay, are we going to go on like this for another 10 years? But now I feel like it's right around the corner. And this is why a lot of you may resonate. Thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate it. That's the best way you can show your support is to like the video. So that people can, find it. Because I think the things that we talk about here are so important right now. Really important. But you're going to find, even to those that are watching, and obviously you are working on yourself, you wouldn't even be here watching me, but you're going to find this push, like to do more, to grow more. And you're going to be like, what the heck? I want to take my time, let me do it on my time. It really is the universe's way of getting you prepared, getting you into position. So I really wouldn't urge you to fight it or resist it or, get mad with the universe. I would urge you to follow, okay? Now is not really the time to be wasting time. So, like going to parties, drinking, gossiping, wasting precious time, valuable time that you could be using to work on yourself. It's just, use it, because I'm telling you, as an intuitive and as a person who feels a lot, there are so many things I pick up on. I don't even want to, I'm not even allowed to put it out there. They tell me you're not allowed to put it out there. They just, you are being prepared. Something is around the corner. I can honestly say I'm on a 5th dimension, or I'm on a 5D dimension. Okay. So I think you're speaking to the frequency. Yes. 5D, remember, you would be, completely on the other side. So you can't fully be 5D because you got the physical body. If you were fully 5D, you would be, like not here. You'd be on the other side. But I know what you mean. You experience the frequency of it. And that's excellent because that's really what's going to be your saving grace right now. Um, I see people out there not doing well and they don't know what to do. And it's kind of like set up in a really wild way because you as a person are not allowed to go around waking up people, but then they are like not guided to the information. So it's a really interesting setup, I'm sure all of you can resonate with the fact that like you want to be helpful, you want to share, but they have to be guided to it. But yeah, it's crazy times right now. And to me, things do feel off. Okay, they do feel off to me. I see it in people's faces. Hi, I think I'm in 40, but who knows? I really wouldn't really, I wouldn't really think about that too much. Don't get stuck on the labeling. Um, you know, you, I can give you an indication right now if you want on how to detect if you are in 5D, okay, or if you're spending most of your time in 5D. How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about your life? Are you like living, in your highest authentic timeline? Like, do you show that face to the public? Um, are you like unfiltered? Um, do you have fear? Are you constantly in a state of worry or, being scared? Um, these would be indications that you would still have work to do because when you do elevate or you move more into having more experiences or spending more of your time in the day, it does honestly feel like euphoria. That's just the way I, would label it. Hi, Wendelin, Wendelion or Wendelin. I am happier, yes, and I stopped worried and feel lighter. Nothing feels like, yeah. So that would be an indication. Um, I feel like I have clarity on my own path and I'm on my way to where I want. Wait, I can't read as fast. Like dandelion. Oh, that's cute. I love that. I feel like I have clarity on my path and I'm on my way to where I want to be. I used to struggle with fear, but I'm aware of it and it's getting better gradually. So great. You see, it's not really about the destination. It's about, what are you doing, daily? Do you feel progress? People always just, want that end goal. And I get it. There's a lot of focus, on the internet of, these labels and, you have a lot of people who will talk about being there, but they never talk about the struggle. They never talk about, how they got there. So it can be hard sometimes for, a person who just wants some sort of advice on how to get there or, a way to look at it that would benefit them. And to me, it's like you got to celebrate your small wins. Um, I don't like to call them small wins, but, most people would look at them like they're small wins. But just small things like, okay, I was able to get this out of this situation, or I got better doing this from this situation. I may not be exactly, at my end goal, but I'm noticing it feeling lighter. It's getting better. I'm not as attracting, toxic, people. Your environment is going to really be the signal as to kind of where you're at. And if you are being isolated, that's probably going to be a big one too. A lot of people, I don't know. I went through it. I went through it a little bit, but I understand, a lot of people don't like the isolation. It's a given. It's going to be like you're not going to be able to bargain or negotiate with that. It is a blessing. I actually know quite a few people who are they would consider being on the path, they're not getting isolated for some reason. I don't know why. They're not being put into a situation where they can isolate, because, you know, in the isolation, this is where you're going to do your best work, and it will allow you to accelerate a lot more quickly than if you are around a bunch of people or distracted. I'm learning to enjoy this period of isolation and releasing worry. 99.999% 99 of the things you worry about will never happen. All of this is programming. We have been programmed. We didn't have a chance, okay? We are lucky that we still have the ability to wake up. But you gotta like have more like consideration for the fact of the programming. It is a program. I mean, it's done to everybody here. It's done to everybody. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but do you ever look at like the world and just you can see the outdatedness of it all? Are the ones, what did you say? Are the ones who are not being isolated generators? No, I don't know. I don't know about the human design. I have no idea if they're generators or not. I mean, I'm a generator. I was isolated. But what if not everyone is meant to for isolation? I had isolated many times, but now it feels like I should step out. Can you talk more about that? You will be guided to that. And I promise you, you will have the awareness and the feeling right before you're going to be put back out there, like as to when it's going to happen. But no, you're not going to be in isolation forever, but it can be chunks of time. Now, I could talk about my situation, but my situation may be different from you. I was in isolation before for 8 years. I came out of isolation for about 5 years, and then I went back in. I'm in isolation right now it's been about 6 years, but I can slowly feel myself like I'm about to come out. Like I do feel next year is going to be different, but my form of connecting, it's a bit different this time. It's not so much in the physical, it's more like online. I am meeting a lot of you know, people, but online. But that could just also be too, you know, with the way that we're going in society. You will meet people in the physical, but you will also meet people online as well too. You're gonna have a lot of these groups coming together more. I'm finding myself, even with clients, I'm starting to talk to them more. Is it a friendship? I don't feel so, but it's more of a connection, like getting deeper. But it's going to be like that, you know, because think about 5 years ago, you probably only found people who you resonated with online, and whether you were speaking to them or not, it doesn't matter. But look at the comment sections of like certain reels or videos or whatever. Do you see how people are feeling a resonance like online as opposed to the physical life? Those people, I do feel like in the shift, when it does, you know, become very separated, they will start finding each other. I don't know what that will look like, but I feel it. It won't be so much like, okay, this person's on the other side of the world. Okay. It will be more, you know, it will come into your physical realm. But, I wouldn't trade it for the world, the isolation. I hated it at first because I was a very social person, but I had a literal ego degradation, okay? I had an ego death in my most recent one. I was the most social butterfly. I never said no to anything. Nothing. I mean, you could invite me here, you could invite me there. I was a person, I was a yes, okay? I didn't really think twice about like, are these my kind of people? Am I going to feel like a resonance? I just went, and I was everywhere. I even had like I had like a group, like a women's group that I ran. It was like a social group, like where we would go out and we would have like fun dinners and stuff. And you know, I'm not that person. I look at videos actually of myself in those times, and I literally smack the phone out of someone's hand because it scares me. I don't know who that is. When I look at it, it looks extremely fake, but I don't know who it is. It's not the person I am now. Now I'm more like a peaceful person. You know, my tastes have changed. And that's what you'll find too on your journey too, is that your tastes will change. Like even your tastes for vacation, your vacation choices will change. You won't be choosing, you know, like Cancun for the party scene. You'll more want to go to like spiritual places to try to have like an awakening, or I don't know, you know, there'll be like these places that just gravitate to you, that call you. There's like a calling. Um, you won't really, do you find guys like you don't eat out anymore at restaurants? Like, I don't know what happened there. I do cook a lot of my own food. Like I'm quite the chef, okay? But I used to be able to eat outside. And I was asking someone the other day, like, what happened? Like, these are restaurants I used to go to, the same ones. I can't eat the food there anymore. And I thought maybe it was at first the quality of the food. Maybe they're using cheaper ingredients, but I was like, no, it's me. Like my frequency is up. And you know, this spiritual journey it can become quite humorous because it can be so intricate. Like now you just can't eat food unless it's prepared by somebody who has a high frequency. I didn't used to think that before. A lot of people, you know, used to try to tell me, you know, your food is so good because you put the love into it. I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I just know how to season. But now I'm starting to believe that, you know, your food, if you had it made the same dish by 5 different people, it would taste different. And it's not like, even if they were using the all same amount of measurings and et cetera, I do believe it would taste very different, based upon the person who's making its frequency. Um, yeah, like everything changes, you know, but I did go through an ego death. It was so necessary though. The things I used to involve myself with were just a waste of time. Um, but I do feel like there's people who choose to activate, and then I feel like there's people who are called to it. It's something you set up before you were born. So there's no way to like revert off of it. And these are going to be with the people that you find, you know, can tell you a lot of stories, you know, tell you a lot of stories from childhood about this place. Like when I did that, you know, as an example, when I was talking about, I did that in my generator video. I remember as little as 4 years old, just showing up on this planet, you know, when I feel like enough awareness. So I feel like 4 or 5, just like this place was so weird. And I did say too, I think I said that I felt like really old, like as a child, like old, like I was old, not young. And I don't know what made me feel like that. I don't know if it's because I felt like I would watch people struggle around me, like adults, and you know, with decisions, and I'd be like, it's so easy. Like, what's the problem? You know, just go do this, go do that. Or maybe I wasn't as emotional, you know, because I used to see people struggling around me to make decisions because they were so emotionally entrenched into it, and I just never had that. I was always really detached. Man, oh man, have I been really, you know, antagonized for that. But you know, generators are not supposed to initiate, right? You guys know that, right? Like we're not supposed to be initiating anything. And I didn't know that, but I'm not the type to initiate. I'm just not. If you don't call me, I don't call you. If you don't invite me, I don't, or ask me to go do something, I don't do it. I'm kind of like, I just never cared about stuff like that. And that may sound very selfish to a lot of people who are watching. Like, oh, I've met people like you know, they give no energy. It's not that. I'm actually very present in the moment, but I just don't need, I just never needed like, you know, like when people act like super duper, like, okay, like we're gonna be like blood brothers and we're gonna be like carving our names into, like, I just never had to do that with people. I never cared. I'm the same, but I'm a manifester. Manifestors. Interesting. You guys are really special people. I know some manifestors. Wow, the way they just walk in a room and own the place, like, just, it's amazing. I feel weird here, and even in my body. I thought hands and feet were so weird, and I couldn't understand how adults. Okay, that's interesting because I don't like feet either. It's kind of funny. You want to hear something kind of funny about that? What are the chances that I actually attracted like a partner into my life, like my husband, who never walks around without socks on? Like, never. Even if he's on the beach, he has like socks on with like the slides over it. Like, I never see his feet. What are the chances of that? I thought about that a couple times, but I was like, what are the chances? Because, some people like to walk around with their feet out. I'm just not into it. Now, I feel like it's more on men. I'm not into it. Like, I feel like if it was like a sister of mine or a mom, like, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But it's just like, they have to look like taken care of. But it's so weird that you're saying that. It's just interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like with the whole soul journey and the activation, I think you can choose based upon watching someone else go through it. Like, you may be like, you know what, this is interesting. I may want to, look into this or get, have this for myself. But then I feel like there's souls who come here and they are already pre-designed to like activate at certain times. And, I talk about, that person that I met, it will be 10 years ago, who activated me. I did label the video. I did talk about them in the video. It was labeled twin flame, but people don't like my idea of what a twin flame is. They just don't. And I get it. You have to be ready. It is quite an expansive definition. It's not like your typical. I just don't. If people could just really figure out or release a lot of their programming regarding the twin flame, but even, no, my husband's a soulmate. No, my husband's a soulmate. If people could just release, the labeling around all of this, they could get quicker into the understanding of why the person showed up, and then they can get to work, and then they can finally release themselves. Because I do find when people feel tortured and I'm tortured, I can't, it's because you're not learning what you're supposed to learn. I promise you, this thing will fizzle out. You will always be grateful for them showing up, but you will probably more look at it as a stepping stone, like it was a contract for this person to show up and activate you. Why do you think all of these connections seem to have the same type of reoccurrence? Oh, we had this bizarre eye contact that lasted for like 20 seconds. It was like the room stopped. But yeah, it's because you're being activated. The windows are the eyes to the soul. It's just, it goes hand in hand. That's exactly what it was. It was an activation. I'm a generator and love solitude. With noise, world noise is not for me. Yeah, I don't really like, okay, I have a weird thing with like plates. Like, I want to throw up. Like, it's hard for me sometimes to go to these buffet places because just the amount of like clacking dishes and the forks, and I can't. I sometimes even hear like that echo in my ear. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I know what you mean. I don't, I could sit, like there are some noises I love though, like the sounds of waves. I can sit at a beach for the whole day. I could sit even in my backyard for the whole day. I just love nature. I love the sound of wind. I love that the sound of crickets. But other noises I just can't take. And I'm trying to think of any other noises. The dreams are getting more vivid. I saw a volcano eruption, ashes. Oh yeah, you probably are picking up on something about to go down. It's gonna get more chaotic, guys. Just remember that whatever's happening in the world doesn't have to be your reality. Like, a lot of people have not distinguished that as of yet. They're not in that understanding as of yet. They think whatever happens into the world, or when they see these tragedies, they have to all of a sudden become fearful. You know, one thing I actually really don't like? I hate when people say that they're not going to travel because it's just too dangerous right now. Really? I mean, you do what's best for you, but if you're doing this because, you know, like, you are watching conspiracy videos, or some guy telling you, you know, something's going to come, that he had a prediction, like, please, I would really be careful. You're going to put your life on hold, and you don't even understand that, like, it doesn't have to be that that's something that you're going to be in. Oh, hi, Grayson. Yes, finally caught you live. You know, you're on my second channel, right? I'm not on the other one. Oh, and that brings me actually to something here. So my plan, okay, unless something happens, I don't want to, guys, I don't do the best with the notifying. I'm not good at this. I know a lot of you would like to get the heads up. I'm really spontaneous, okay? My goal is every Wednesday. So my goal with this channel is to make a video for you guys every week, and then do a live to check in, because I can't always create content. And I think this channel needs to elevate past me making videos and me more interacting with you all, because it just jumpstarts or gets more quicker into, you know who I am, me knowing who you are. You ask your questions, I can answer them, than just, me making, randomly a video that you may be interested in. So every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be live on this channel. And I'm actually shocked because I didn't know if I could, like, ramble on like for an hour and a half, but I'm finding that so easy. Like, so easy to do. It's interesting. And, you guys just, responding in, the chat, or saying that you resonate with something. You don't understand. This is good. This is good. We all need this, we all need to be able to resonate with another. And even through you guys talking in the chat, you're helping others to not feel alone. And I do feel like people, like, especially those that are on the journey right now, the one thing they need to know is that they're not alone, because it can be easy, really easy, to think that you're alone and that you're some rare person and this is not happening to anybody else. And, oh my goodness, am I going nuts? So this is also why I'm doing the live, so that we can kind of, like, I'm like a host, but I'm connecting everyone together. Okay. But yeah, like, you don't need to like, become fearful, or, everything that's happening right now in the world is very necessary. Some people would not want to hear that. They would say that is cruel. If everything was hunky-dory, what would anybody learn from that? And to be honest, nothing was hunky-dory. It's just we were all under the illusion. I honestly didn't think that much was wrong with the world before 2020. I'm going to be really honest here. I didn't think much was wrong. I mean, I knew about a few things. I knew about some things that were dark, but I did not think there was that much wrong with the world. And oh, I can't say that that's the case right now. Okay. So the chaos, No one's safe. No one, I'm going to repeat, is safe. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're a random person, just average Joe. If you're doing darkness, you're going to be exposed. There's too much light coming to earth right now. It cannot be hidden. It's not going to be able to hide. And, I'm going to move into another thing here. If you want to be on this journey, and I'm not speaking to you, I'm just speaking out energetically. If you're going to be on this journey and you think you're going to lie, cheat, scam, manipulate, you got another thing coming. It doesn't go hand in hand. We're being shown all kinds of stuff right now. A lot of people knew. So it's really like a rerun. It's not even anything that, I think this is more for the people who it needs to affect. And this is what I'm saying. Everything is acting as a reason. It's not like this is just for no reason. I'm just saying, you got to become real truthful with who you are and the way that you operate if you're going to be on this journey. You're just not going to be able to, it doesn't go hand in hand, So when I hear things like from people, like, why would I do that? They don't do that. Really? You sound like a child. You sound like a child right now. It's a very immature response. It's like at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself, It's spiritual law anyways. They must expose themselves voluntarily or it will be done to them. Oh, really? I don't know about that. I didn't know about this. That's interesting. But really, how long can you operate like that? Like, think about it. Like, that saying, it just always gets found out anyways. Like, I don't feel like if you even look in your average, like your day-to-day life, or even with the person that you see in your office acting like an a-hole, like behavior usually can't last forever, or darkness. It's just always, it's like, it just bound to come out. They have this everywhere. They even have this in the mafia. Like the mafias talk about this. Like, it's just like, you're not going to get away with it forever. So, but one thing I just like hate to hear, like I said, is when people want to justify their bad behavior because they think, okay, well, these people are doing it. It's like, whatever makes you sleep at night, it's your conscience, but it just does not go hand in hand, because I'm going to tell you something. Okay. When you lie and you cheat and you steal and you manipulate, you're basically telling the universe you don't deserve it. Okay. Because that's why you have to go out and do all of that. So you're never going to be able to attract abundance. I know people would disagree with me on that and say, oh, all the evil people, they have better, I don't know about you. It depends on what your, what your desires are. I don't, envy anyone's life. The last few weeks have been constant reflection of the choices I've made, making it be heavy. Had to face myself and what I was pushing down. How beautiful is it that you have spent the last few weeks doing that? You're doing a lot more than most people out there. Good for you. And you will get to the bottom of it. Yes, it will feel heavy. Why would it not feel heavy? That's the other thing too that I kind of, laugh a bit about, is like this whole love and light bullshit. Like, I don't even know if I should call it out right now. Working on yourself, a spiritual journey, it's not about love and light. It's about going into the darkness and like taking a good look around and, at yourself and, realizations, and then, like walking back out, a better, newer you. This whole, the love and light and and manifestations and just, about this is not what it is. I've learned more. Okay. I've learned more from the darkness than I ever have from the light. I don't want to get too deep like into that, but like honestly, it's through the darkness that I learned the most. The light, it's just going to hold your hand and it's going to tell you how great you're doing, and it's not going to make you feel like you need to do anything. Question. I don't even know what that means. I'm not in any hell realm. Not sure what you mean by that. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, like it's really about doing the work. The whole like I just love and light. Love and light. I don't know what, I don't even know what that even means really, you know? While we process heavy emotions, does it show up in the body? I was purging so much that I had constant symptoms showing in body, which was out of nowhere. I mean, I do think that, you know, there's a tie between, you know, the emotions and the physical body. You know, this is why you'll see a lot of people who are saying, oh, by the way, I just made a video. I will be releasing it after I come off of here. It will be in regards to soul contracts, but I do feel like when you're stagnating your growth, it will show up in the body. Now, I can't really talk too much about it because like, I don't know your situation and I'm not a professional, okay? But I know when you're stagnating something or choosing not to look at something or choosing to stay in something past, you know, like its expiration date, you will really notice, you know, a lot, you know, that it starts manifesting in the body. Now, if you're releasing, I'm just trying to think of what has happened to me through release. Okay, something's coming to mind here. Okay, so, and it's happening right now. It's been happening right now since I've had a very big energetic shift. I'll actually share my energetic shift with you because you've probably also noticed a lot with me as well here on YouTube. Because you know I was like nowhere to be found. Okay, I hardly posted. So let's just talk about the first thing. One thing I've been noticing a lot with the frequency elevation is I don't need as much sleep. I don't need as much sleep. I can sleep for 5 hours and I'm fine. I don't feel like a wreck. I'm not attracted to, I just don't eat junk food. I'm not attracted to it. Like, I mean, I haven't eaten McDonald's since 2009. Ever since I saw that pink goo, I was like, no, thank you. Sorry if I just killed everybody's, you know, dreams here of what they were going to have for lunch. But I don't know. I just don't have that anymore. Like, again, the taste changes. So I'm going to tell you about a shift I've had recently, and you will be surprised by this. You see how I wasn't posting as much? I didn't used to post as much. I used to get really caught up with the thumbnails. You guys are probably like, what? Really? Yeah, those thumbnails like they drove me nuts. You don't understand how many hours I would spend on these stupid ass thumbnails. And I'm talking about for the other channel. Spirit was like, you gotta let it go. You gotta just like throw the stuff out there and just, you know, whoever needs to hear it, hear it. I don't know if you've noticed a difference in my thumbnails. I just don't give a rat's ass anymore. When I released all of that, like that perfectionism, that everything had to look aesthetic, that's when all of a sudden I could work more. I had more energy. So, you know, you can have releases many different ways, you know, through, you know, getting rid of whatever you feel like was a force or, you know, something that was causing you exhaustion. It can look like that as well too. But body-wise, I would say for me, since I've elevated, I just don't need as much sleep. You love my thumbnails, but like, do you mean right now? Because like right now that to me, they look like crap. It's just like, I used to spend so much time before. You had no idea. You guys have no idea. And this is why, like I had to say what I had to say in my other live yesterday, because it's not nice when you're creating content and people are just like, can you do this? Can you do that? It's like, can I just post something and you're grateful? Like, can I just do that? Can you just enjoy what I posted? Like, I'm okay with requests, but it's the way you're doing it, People have no idea what creators go through. They just don't. It's one of those things where I guess people have to do it to understand. See, I don't at this point have to put myself in your shoes to know what you're going through. In severe cases, yes, I would have to. It would have to happen to me, but like, I have a lot of compassion and understanding now for, many different sides of things. I love your thumbnails. Yes, I mean right now. Oh, really? I would say like the last 1 to 2 years are rad. So I just recently, like 3 months ago, stopped putting effort into them. And that's when all of a sudden I got this boost in energy. See, sometimes you don't even realize you're in your own way. What I would suggest is look at your life. What is causing the most stress? Like if you have to start pinpointing, write a list. Stop doing it immediately. Take it down, way down a notch. And then you're going to see that like the sky is going to open. Anything you post is a blessing, seriously. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm working a lot now, and I would have never been able to do that before. I used to post twice a month on the other channel, and you may get a live from me once a week, once a month. I just, like I was just always over on Patreon. But now I've found a nice balance, and now I can give life over here. I figured out over here now too, because I didn't have time to create videos for you. So I was like, what's the next best thing? Go live. So that's what I'm doing. Sometimes you'll find the answers are so simple. It's just you couldn't see it. So you have to be patient. You have to be patient with yourself. I just feel like the willingness alone, just open yourself up to spirit, just be like to God, whoever. Just say like, show me what I can't see and show me what I want to see. And don't have any kind of like expiration or time limit on how long it takes for them to show you, because just that thing alone that I mentioned with my thumbnails took me 2 years to see. 2 years. Right? So, but it's the willingness. So, I find a lot of people when they're on this path, there's always this like wanting to compete and get to, get an A+. That in itself is programming, because we're taught that when we're young. That's one of the biggest things we're taught in school, right? Competition, competing for A's, right? That's one thing I also didn't like about school. There was so much I didn't like about it. Now that I'm thinking about my childhood, I'm really thinking about the fact that like I just felt so old here, so old. Nobody really ever wanted to hear from me or what I had to think or had to say. But when I did speak, I used to shock people because I was always coming with that like different perspective, and it wasn't mainstream. I grew up actually in a family that was very matrix, okay? Like it's, you get A's, you go to university and you get your, 6-figure job. And, they used to all talk around the table about how much money they were making. It was so gross. And I used to do stuff. I used to do stuff to piss them off. I used to enjoy it. But they didn't like that about me. I like, I'll give you an example. With the kids, like us kids, like me and my cousins, they would want to like always kind of like ask us what our plans were at like 7 and 8 years old. I understand. 7 and 8 years old. And it was always like one of three things. It was either you were going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an architect. So they were going around the table asking, oh, so like, what do you want to, and it was like, it was done in like a fun, cute way. Like, I don't know. Then they got to me and I was like, just to irritate them, I had no wanting to do this, but I was like, I'm going to be a school bus driver. They all got so upset. Oh my God. Everybody stopped eating midair. It was like, oh my God, why would you say that? And I'm not trying to like insult anybody who's a school bus driver, but to them, that would have been like the lowest of the lowest that you could do. Very, very, very programmed people, very matrix. And I felt rebellious to all of that. And it's interesting because my cousins actually had a lot of life. They were so full of life, when they were little. Like the way we just were so, we used to have so much fun, Now they're zombies. Like, especially one of my cousins, I saw him when he was a little older because he moved away and I saw him through an event and I was like, what happened to this guy? This guy's a complete and utter zombie. I don't remember him being like that. Can you think of one example like from your childhood you can share? Okay, I kind of read that too late. I say show me in threes if I get the same symbol or message. Okay, that's cool. I never felt school was the best use of my time, and I struggle to balance my gut feeling about yeah. I mean, I think school is a good idea if it's different, like if we had more like if we took away the desks and just that sitting in that one position, and then we were more integrating outside and like life skills, like how to find your own water, how to find your own food, planting. We brought animals, because animals teach compassion, caring for them. And then we also taught the children, the power that they hold. Math honestly should not go past division. All this extra math, I don't know where they created this stuff from. Nobody uses it. I guess if you're a scientist, you probably would, but how many people do you know are scientists? I'm not saying we shouldn't learn how to read or write or, again, do math, but it should be maybe like 1 hour to 2 of the day. And then the rest of the day is more about exploring oneself, like getting to know oneself, learning about, manifestation, the power of thought. I could go on and on and on, but this would never happen. Not in the world that we have right now. Now, in the new world that we will be creating, absolutely. You're going to see a lot of these new schools. They're going to be, I don't know what they'll be called, but they're probably going to be like New Earth schools. And listen, just know anything is possible right now, okay? I think Montessori schools are trying to do that in the US. What I will say is you have a lot more options than, we do here in Canada. I mean, I've seen schools, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're private. You have to pay, but I think these kind of schools that I'm envisioning should be available for free to everyone. Doesn't matter how much money you have or how little you have. But I've seen schools like online where they are more geared towards like businesses. So the kids, they'll learn for an hour or two a day, and then they will spend the rest of the day creating their own businesses. I also think that's good too. Like the entrepreneur it's just the best thing there's nothing like being your own brand and waking up in the morning and giving life to your own creation. I mean, I personally, I don't want to help anyone create, I don't want to go and bust my behind every day to help build someone else's dream. I want to build my own dream. Um, if I wanted to do something like that, then I would donate money, but I'm not gonna like personally with my physical body, every day, 8 hours a day, go help, build someone else's dream. Just no, it's just not where I'm at right now. Um, and when I look at it, this is what I was always supposed to be doing. Um, but it's not just really about, there's also that integration of light worker, being a light worker. So everybody's doing their part, like I may be playing a small part, in some people's lives. You set it up that way to find me, just like it was my job to set it up to like start the channel so you could find me. And I could say something that would spark something in you, like a memory. Like I told you guys before, I was shown by my spirit guides that, because I asked them, I said, what the hell am I doing on YouTube? What am I doing this for? And they said, like, there's a frequency in your voice that when people hear you, they all of a sudden wake up. And I'm like, is that why my voice is so annoying? Is that why it's not like, hi guys? Like I can't be like that. Yes, I'm grateful every day to not have to answer to angry people and create the environment. Yeah. You have literally changed my mindset so many times from reading. I felt called, oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad I was the spark that, initiated you to do the work. And it's a beautiful setup, the way everything, has been orchestrated. But, when I heard that from my guides, it made me feel better about what I was doing. Even through your emails that you send me, I have had a lot of you tell me that also really, you have no idea. Some of the times when you're sending your emails, you don't know the kind of day I'm having. I'm contemplating everything, like running away, giving this all up, and then your email will come at the perfect time, and I'm like, wow, okay, spirit, all right. I'll stick around for a little longer. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm at a place in my life where I'm not afraid, if I was to close up shop today, I wouldn't be afraid of like, what would come next. At this point, I'm doing and this is for everything, I do what I feel guided to do. Do I want to do it? No, I don't do it. Do I feel guided to do it? Yeah, I do it. Do I feel guided to do it? I'm not sure. Then I don't do it. It's as simple as that. But there's a lot of great things that are coming for us, okay? You really do need to have the positive mindset, even if you can't see it, even if you can't see it in the physical reality. Us people who are, deciding to dedicate our life to this journey, there are going to be huge rewards. It's a process, okay? This whole thing is a process. I mean, you're talking about thousands of years of I mean, like, do I want to call this planet a prison planet? I mean, it's been set up that way, but it doesn't need to be. But you're talking about thousands of years, of undoing. So when people are like, it's taking too long, I'm like, what? How long have you been on this journey? A year. You've been waiting a year for things to change? Do you know there's people that have been waiting since the 70s? Oh, goodness. And I don't know why anyone would be in a state of waiting. It doesn't matter what's happening on the planet. Work on your vibration. That way you can shift and elevate into a better timeline. You never change the planet you're on. People don't understand this. You never change the planet you're on. You change and elevate yourself. You work on yourself, and then you move and elevate to a higher timeline. Honestly, a little worried about 2030. I sometimes feel like, what's the point in making money? I want to buy a luxe apartment, but worry I have to buy land instead. I'm just thinking about how I want to answer that. I don't think the worry should be the agenda. I think it should be that you more, um, I mean, like, what do you want to do? I mean, is there anything else you want to do besides buy the apartment? You know, like, I don't think you should be buying land if that doesn't resonate with you. But this is a perfect example of what you wrote. Like, I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to be on that timeline. I'm not going to be on that timeline. And I don't personally want to buy land. Okay. So I'm not even thinking like that. I'm not even thinking like I need to go off grid. I've let that all go. I don't know if you're watching particular people. You know, this is why you even know about all of this. But like, I would be careful because, see, the thing, right, is that when these people make these videos, one thing I noticed they never do is they like to talk about the doom and gloom, but they never say, hey, you may not be on that timeline. Or when people make predictions, like these prophets, it's like, okay, that's one of several timelines. So you have all the viewers in a state of fear when they're probably not even going to be on that timeline. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, city life is chill, but I'm worried if I don't comply. I don't think you have anything to worry about, Lyran Kitten. I won't be complying. I mean, have you complied? I haven't complied. Look at me, I'm fine. Like, I would release this, you know, if you can release this way of thinking. It kept me stuck for several years. I was in all of that up to here. I was in all of that up to here, like, and more. And you know, what is the point of thinking like that? Like, just ask yourself, like, would you worry? Okay, if you knew like something was gonna hit your place, okay, like a tower or something was gonna come down on your house, would you sit here worrying about it? Like, or sorry, not if you knew, but if you thought there may be a chance that, like, let's say you have a light, like a big light, street light is in front of your house. And yeah, there's a possibility that thing could come down. I mean, anything can happen, right? Anything is possible. But are you going to sit there and worry for the next year about that happening? Or are you going to go live your life? I mean, it's just all a waste of time. Stop watching conspiracy videos. They have a very negative energy to them. I'm telling you. Some of you know who have been with me. Even through the readings I was doing, OMG. I'm in Canada. I'm glad you're here. I will. I guess I would rather prep, but listen, I don't know how you feel about relocating if this place doesn't make sense to you anymore, because personally, I'm going to tell you, Lyran Kitten, when I went to Florida, it was not the same vibe. I had been on vacation for at least 7 days when I was over there, and someone in my group, my party that I was on vacation with, asked me, do you still feel that weird energy? And I was like, in the air. I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. No, I don't feel that energy. Oh my God, it only exists where I live. There will be very different frequencies location-wise. Like, whatever you feel here with this, like in Canada, it's heavy. You can feel people's depression. People are acting so weird, miserable. It's very expensive. A lot of people don't know how expensive it is to live here. I feel like a lot of Americans don't know this. I may make some videos. I may make some videos on these topics. I actually have been feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna have no holds bar on this channel. You may see me randomly somewhere else. I may not just be here in my room with this wall behind me, because people don't know. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Canadians don't know. They don't know what it's like in parts of America. Like, I was in shock just from the grocery stores in Florida. I was like, what? 4 avocados for $1? What? And then it's like, if you shop, you get 2 bags of potatoes for free. I was like, no, this is not, how do they afford this? What's going on? 10 limes for $1. People have no idea. And the tax, I think I spent in this one grocery store $130 and I paid $1 in tax. I was like, what's going on here? What the hell? And then so when I realized, like there's been so much propaganda against, like in the news about, to boycott over there. I know why. It's because they want to hide what a better life it is over there. And then the people, I mean, over here I'm invisible. And nobody talks to anybody over here in Canada. I don't know if you guys know this, but nobody's talking to anybody. People will look at you and they won't even see you, and they'll just stand there, and they won't, like, you'll be trying to pass and they're just like standing there looking at something. When I was in Florida, everyone was talking to me. Everyone was talking to me. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Like, wow, this is different. It's so different. It's like a whole other planet over there. And people are out and about, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I say that to say, if there's a chance at all that you could, if this place is not resonating with you, maybe leave. But I will say not all parts of the States are like that. Okay. Like, I can't go to New York and feel that way. Okay. It's going to be like Toronto 2.0, yes, people don't even get mad when they drive. Oh my God. That's the other thing, guys, too. When you drive here in Canada, it's very common to get this. And you're doing like 20 over the kilometers, and it's just like you're still getting this. That's the other thing. When I was in Florida, I was like shocked. I was like, oh, I'm giving away all my video. I wanted to make a video about this, but it's fine. I was shocked at how everybody was driving the speed limit. I was like, not one person is going over the speed limit over here. And there was cops everywhere. I was like, wow, this is interesting. You don't see cops over here. There's no cops. You could go on a road trip for 3 hours. You're lucky if you see one. There's no cops around. It's just so different. Yeah, people don't even get mad when they drive. I feel people Mesmer and Snappy. I don't think it's that bad if you make more money than 25 after a tax. No, I think that's even everywhere. People who are making a lot more. Wow, likes are like $1 here. Yeah, I know. You mean limes? Yeah, I know. I was shocked at that. I was like, so I went in this one grocery store. It was in West Palm Beach. Every time you shop, you get 2 bags of potatoes for free. What? Or you buy 1 bag of bread, you get another one free. Huh? I feel absolute resonance here. Good. That is the whole point. I'm so glad you feel resonated here. States. Yes, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of Americans. None of them complain about anything I see on news. I'm in North Carolina. Things have gotten heavy, but the difference in people come together. That's the other thing I saw too, is that I was in Siesta Key the day after 4th of July. And you had a big bunch of people coming and collecting up the garbage. And we started talking to them, and they're like, no, we do this. We don't get paid to do this. We just do this. I was like, huh? I was like, what? No, like, this is such a different mentality. Over here, nobody talks to each other. Your neighbors don't talk to each other. I think you've got a lot more people here that are like sleepers than like I would say maybe in Florida. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know what it is. I don't want to presume. Um, but all I know is that, growing up here in Canada, like I was always just told I was aggressive. Um, I always resonated more with Americans. I speak, um, I'm not afraid to like, ask questions or speak my mind. And that was always labeled as, aggressive because I guess people here are so nice and stuff, but that's not the case anymore. I wouldn't say people are not as nice anymore. No, I'm not directly in the city. I'm so grateful you exist, by the way. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I'm loving these. You speak directly. Floridians are a different breed. Yeah. I looked a lot better over there too. I was shocked at how I looked. Even my partner was like, "Oh my God, look at you. You look so spicy." I had like my femininity came back to me. And I know you're like, "Well, you look great." I don't look like this every day. Okay. I have no makeup on, by the way. I just did my eyebrows and I have like a little bit of lipstick. But like, I don't look like this every day. It can get real wild out here. Okay. Like, yeah, I only have two looks, like glam and like homeless. Okay. So like, I'm just saying, but over there, I wanted to make an effort, it's just, it's interesting. We've been all over the place today with these conversations. Florida could be on your Venus line. I know. So interesting. Hi, by the way. I'm so glad a lot of you are finding me over here because I always do try to post, on the community post on the other channel to bring people over here, but some people are not guided. They just want the readings and they don't want anything else. They're not really interested in who I am or, spirituality, and that's fine. So listen, Venus line, this is a real thing, okay? So when I had my what do you call it? Astrocartography. So I have always been attracted to Thailand. I love Thai food. I could eat Thai food every day, okay? Okay, I don't know what line this was, but it was the line where it's like if I went there, I could have an awakening. It was in Thailand. Interesting. I have another line running through LA. I think when I picked up on one of my past lives in the session with Alba Wyman, I think that's where I was. Because so interesting. I didn't explain exactly like what I said in my last live. So after I had that session, I did have a couple dreams when I got back home about those particular lives. In one of them, I knew a guy. Okay, I knew him in the dream and his name was Billy the Kid. When I woke up, I automatically looked up who the hell, because that's not a name you hear every day. So I looked up Billy the Kid and I was like, oh my God, that's an actual person. But I knew him in that life. I knew him like as a person in passing. That was really cool. But I believe that life that I had was in LA, like Los Angeles, California area. I live in Toronto and you're so right. The past 2 years have been kind of healing or hellish. Hellish in the city. It's like the city is rejecting me. Listen, that will happen. A lot of you are going to find that you're going to start to move elsewhere. It's going to be a part of, the universe setting you up where you need to be. Be patient. It's not so easy to do that. I mean, I feel like it should be. We should have the freedom to go wherever we want to go, but it's all so, official, right? Just be open to it. You don't have to sit there and meditate every day to like, let them show you where you need to be. Don't worry. You will be where you need to be, but you're going to see a lot of like the people who are on the New Earth timeline. They're going to start getting that itch to like leave and they're going to think it's random, but it's not. And that in itself is a soul contract. So when I put my video out right after this, please know that that is also for like environments and location. You can have a soul contract where you've done whatever you need to do, and now you're moving elsewhere. You're gonna have to like go elsewhere, because whatever those new experiences and new lessons, they need to be like experienced over there. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it's like sometimes just have to move because those experiences that you need to have need to happen elsewhere. Like I personally don't think I can do much over here, anymore. Um, Finding Soul Tribe in person, I feel like is going to be a lot more difficult over here than if I went somewhere else. Um, it can be an inner knowing as well too, an inner knowing that it's time to go. Um, but yeah, like contracts do exist, soul contracts with places. So yeah, sorry, I can't see. Yeah, it's doing grid work where I live. I get homesick when I leave. Right now, everybody's strategically placed all over the globe. I mean, why do you think you're finding your soul tribe at a distance? You think that's random? It's like, okay, we're going to drop some people into your life to kind of help you, to kind of assist or make you feel like a kindredness, but they're going to be just far enough that they can't distract you. Because you know what would happen if you met this soul tribe in person? Then you'd be like, oh, we should go for coffee. Oh, then it turns into a walk every morning together. And I'm not saying that your soul tribe would distract you off of your, full journey, like everything you need to do, but that like would take you away from other things, it really would, because you'd be spending so much time with them. That's interesting. Did you guys get your astrocartography chart done for free somewhere? Like, and wherever you went, did they give you a detailed, because I can't read those lines. Like um I need the chart and then I want them to explain it. I don't want to have to, go find it myself. I mean, yeah, that sounds lazy, but listen, it is what it is. It's also about if you believe in those types of things. Personally with astrology and all these things, like I think they're interesting, but it's not like a Bible for me. It's not Bible for me. So even when I'm watching transits or, whatever's happening, I'm not just gonna like be like, this is what's gonna happen to me. I don't do that. I look at it like I wake up every morning and I make my own life happen. I'm not just gonna, like generally maybe, but it's you need the whole chart. I talk to the city through meditation and it wants me here, but the people don't. You understand that what happened in 2020 was also an unveiling on people, right? Like the people that are walking amongst us. I used to, I'm shocked. I'm shocked by a few people that I used to, socialize with. I had no idea what they were capable of, like their thoughts, their opinions, the way they feel about or felt about people, or what they were willing to do. I had no idea. So, this was a very big blessing, what happened in 20. It really did reveal a lot of people, what they're capable of. And I do have to say as well too, in general life, when you're finding out about someone, don't get stuck on what you found out about it. Just move on and say, hallelujah. I now know, and now I can do better. I can act accordingly. I find a lot of people get stuck on what they found out, or, how the person's showing themselves to them. it's like move forward, like this is a blessing by the universe, the reveal. Better for some of these people sooner than later. But this was a very big eye awakening. That's why, listen, a lot of people, they may still talk about 2020 like it was the worst thing ever. I don't feel that way anymore. I just don't. Um, this was actually the best thing that could have ever happened, to the world. Like again, it just shined a light on so many different things. It was literally like genius. I am an astrologer and I read them. It's not that hard to learn, but it can be a good guideline for decisions. Yes. I love where I live and feel deep down it is where I belong. I lived here as a child, moved away for several years, returned, moved away, and I got married and had to come back. That's great. That's really great. It means you're in sync. You're in sync with the place, and we just can't underestimate environments, and you may find, when you have outgrown a place, if you continue to stay there, it could just be a very limited, like I personally just want a better quality of life. I'm over the snow. I'm over, there's nothing to do over here except for go for a dinner and a movie. There's just nothing to do. Um, I want to be outside, and I can be outside. I can. I've sat in -20 on a park bench for 4 hours. Okay. I bundle up and I go out there, but I would rather it be with the sun, with the sun. Um, I just want a better access to food. We don't have the greatest access to like fruits. Some people would be shocked to hear that. It's just we don't. It's all dead by the time it arrives. There's just no taste. We also don't get those exotic fruits that are so necessary. Okay, you name it. If you're thinking it, it's probably one of them. Um, and I want to like just be around people who are happy and not so angry, and like you say one thing wrong and they're just gonna like become like a pounce on you. I want like to be around a place that's like with more relaxed people who are more relaxed. um I want to be near the ocean. Like you see how this list keeps going on and on. That would tell you, if you're, understanding what I'm saying, you're probably being called somewhere else. So yeah, moose meat, salmon berries, like native ancestral food. I've never had moose. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask me about anything? Because I am going to be probably leaving soon. But I'll just kind of put it out there. If you want to get a question in about anything like spiritually, about spirituality or the journey, I can answer it for you before I take off. And then remember, I'm going to be, yeah, I'm half Egyptian. I'm half Egyptian and I have Italian too. That's good. Nobody ever guesses that. They always say either Portuguese or Italian. Every Wednesday, I'm going to attempt to be here. I wonder if people think I'm Latina, because I'll tell you, a lot of the guys in Florida, a lot of the like Latino men, they were like eyeing me. I was like, I came alive over there. I was like, ooh, ooh, okay. Can you give advice for how to start working with ancestors or spirit guides? I have no idea how to start this. No way, I'm Egyptian too, haha. Tips on how to be in our highest timeline, I guess, or anything comes to your heart. I don't think that there's any kind of specific way to start working with your ancestors. I mean, I personally don't work with the ancestors. That's not, I think I work with my higher self. That's who I feel, You know, if someone wants to ask me, it feels like it's me. It's me, but a higher version of myself, okay? I don't think you need permission. I think the permission is there by birthright. So I would just say start. If you were looking for any kind of like fancy definition, I just don't have one. I think you can just start working today if you want. But if you do, and you start to feel the nudges, like, okay, they're telling me to go do this, and they're telling me to go to do that, you need to listen, okay? Because then they're going to shut it off and they're going to say, you know what, she's not ready. She's not ready. Your spirit guides, when you're open, they will throw as much at you. These spirit guides, I work with my higher self, they are constantly throwing ideas at me. Do I act on every one? No, because I'm only one person. I mean, I can't. But majority of them, I obey. I obey. Like, I didn't want to start a second channel. I did. Look at what's happening now. I understand. I didn't want to start YouTube. I did. Look what's happening. There's been other stuff as well too. But you know, just to give you a couple. But you know, some of the stuff, you know, that they give you can be out of your comfort zone. It can be really out of your comfort zone. So I would just, no, there's no, I don't have no, like, I'm a pretty good detection. I have a pretty good detection of when, you know, something is dark. I mean, I see it on people. I see it on people. I have so much stories of things I've seen on people. There's like this one story. It's not really a story, but it's gonna sound really weird. I'll say that for another day. I don't work with any trickster spirits. You probably would be able to tell very quickly because, you know, you would feel confused about it. You would feel like something's not right. What they're telling you to do would not turn out beautifully. I mean, I feel like it's pretty like easy to know, you know, what you're working with and what you're not working with, but I understand. But no, I don't work with anything like that. Um, how do you know your guides are leading you versus fear? You're gonna have to explain that one to me because like, okay, so let's say if my spirit guides told me to start the second channel, how would fear be leading that? How would fear lead that? I just, I feel like maybe it's the way you phrased it because I just like I don't understand, like I don't even know, I wouldn't even know how to answer that because to me whatever they're sending giving me as far as an idea, it's always positive. Like I don't have, I'm not having any kind of bad experiences from it. If anything, I'm conquering a lot of like, you know, my goals and my journey through it. I mean, at first you may not be able to see it, but a lot of the times, um, most all the times, it's like it hasn't been negative. It's just if I was starting to have negative experiences, I would like cut that off right away. Um, so Grayson, like when you say you have OCD, like you are kind of accepting that in a sense by saying that you are that. And like with that one, I want to be very sensitive, okay? Because I don't want to get in the way of anything that's been diagnosed, but it's like you have to also be careful that like, you know, when you are labeling yourself, it's like that's the experience that you're going to feel. It will be what physically manifests. So just even by, you know, accepting that is what you are and you lead with it saying, I'm this, you will then create more of whatever's associated with that. So I'm assuming it's the obsessive thoughts, right? I can't tell if I'm obsessing or being led, then I don't act. This is why I honestly don't really, when people are really about their culture and stuff, I'm not into it. I'm like listen, I'm a light being having a human experience. I actually don't really like labels too much. This is why I don't even talk about my culture. I don't. If someone asks me, I'm like, yeah, it's for fun, but I don't really get into it because at the end of the day, I am a light being having a human experience. This is just a costume. It's just a costume. And that's just that's how I feel about it. But yeah, people have, tried to put some particular labels on me, and I was like, I just didn't accept them. I was like, no, what you're experiencing is, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking about the people who tried to label me. I said, what you're experiencing is your version of me based upon your perspectives. Okay? That has nothing to do with me. And that's kind of like where I left it. And they were like, I'm like, what? What did she just say? Yeah. So, but anyways, I had so much fun again with all of you. So much fun. And I could really go on forever, I feel like. Did your dressing and caring about fancy stuff reduce in this journey? Oh yeah, I don't care about, yeah. I'll tell you. I used to be into like the whole outfits and stuff and, nice stuff. And I have enough of it that I don't ever have to buy it again, to be honest. But it sits there and rots. It just sits there and rots because I just don't go for it every day. There are a few pieces I've been thinking of selling because I just, at this point, it's not something I would put on anymore. It's just not something I would just, I don't know. But yeah, I don't care about, even like I used to be a person, if I went on vacation, I'd buy a whole new wardrobe. It's like, I'm going for the experience. I'm not going for a fashion, a fashion. Now, if you like to do that, that's also not wrong. But to answer your question, yeah, I couldn't care less anymore. I have a paid off car. Like I'm not even trying to, like, I just don't care what I have like in my car. Like I'm just getting from here to here. But yeah, no, I don't, that has gone really. But the way I was before, oh man, if I used to put on a $500 shirt, wow, the high it would give me from just putting it on, like, yeah, it's wild, but that will lessen. That will go away on its own, because you will have come out of the programming. It won't appeal to you. You'll look for more substance, and then what I find is you'll want to look for experiences. That's where I'm at. I don't want anything other than nature and a really amazing experience. But what I'm wearing while having that experience, I could not care less. Guys, like I said, you'd be shocked. I've got 2 looks and one of them is homeless. Okay. Like you would just be like, what the hell is she wearing? I really don't care. I just don't care. But anyways, I had fun with all of you. I will come back next Wednesday unless, if you don't see me on Wednesday, something popped up, but my goal is to be here. So just remember, okay, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care.